Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, God! Holy shit! Holy shit! What have I done? What have you done? What have you done? So I'm not going to do the full intro that we had, because we did like a 3-minute intro talking about how, you know, a security camera system would really benefit this house to a certain degree, especially in certain areas. Also, how I think having a ring system to a certain degree is a bit of a disadvantage, because they'll easily see it right there and they'll think to do this, and it'll be more difficult to identify them. But we aren't going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to go straight into the video because, again, I'm a dum-dum, and I looked over and I made sure that voice meter was open, but it, for some reason, wasn't having any active audio. So I restarted it, and thankfully it came back. So now you can actually hear us, and we aren't just going... Yeah, so anyway. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is 5 freaky videos recorded by Ring Cameras, Volume 2 by Mr. Nightmare. We're really enjoying the Mr. Nightmare videos that y'all are sending us, and I would not mind watching more because, hey, this is good content. Anyway, here we go. Chocolate.
This first one was submitted by viewer Trent Leons, and when this was recorded, he and his family had recently moved into his grandparents' house. The house is in the middle of nowhere, so the family naturally had their guard down. However, one night at 1 in the morning, while most of the family was asleep, Trent got a notification for a ring that there was motion at the front door. A notification for movement wasn't a concern, as the family has outdoor cats that are active at night, but there was definitely reason for concern when it said somebody is at your front door. One of the family members grabbed a gun and went to open the front door, and that's where he started to raise his hands and started asking for help.
Help? Can I use a phone to call a cab?
He asked to use a phone, to which the family gave him a cell phone, and with it he tried calling someone, but to no avail.
No problems, man. You know me? Yep.
He then proceeded to start walking off down the road. As the guy was walking down the road, 2 of the family members decided to hop in their truck and find out where he was going, and they found him walking down the road and looking like he was going to another house down the road, the nearest one being half a mile away. The 2 family members decided they didn't want him near their house or any neighboring houses, so they offered he get in the bed of the truck and they drive him into town, and about a couple minutes later, they arrived in town and dropped him off. The whole time he had his hands up and kept looking at the 2 family members while he backed away from the truck. It could have been assumed that the man was genuinely looking for help and needed to call someone, if it weren't for the fact that other family members reported that the week prior, he was in another neighborhood around the area, allegedly asking for help again, in late hours of the night, going from door to door in dimly lit areas. It's quite possible that he may have been trying to maliciously gain entry into the homes of sympathetic or unsuspecting people. It's unknown if that's the case or if he was ever successful.
By the way, there's something I'm going to say to Nick here, and unfortunately I'm going to have to mute the microphones here. So sorry, everyone. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah. So that was
Successful.
just had a little bit of information to
This one was posted by a Redditor named T Course, and there aren't as many details on this one, other than it happened in a small suburb late on a rainy night. This was way past solicitation or visiting hours. The homeowner wasn't home at the time and saw the notification the next day, which is when they saw this video footage. From the darkness appears a middle-aged woman with an umbrella, with her mouth gaping wide open. She stands there for about 20 seconds after ringing the bell, the whole time with her mouth hanging eerily wide open, aside from closing it for a couple seconds, showing that her mouth didn't appear to be stuck in this hanging open position.
It's fucking weird. I mean, did she eat something spicy? That's what I would think. Like, did you try the bomb from Hot Ones?
She tries the doorbell or another button one more time before walking away and disappearing into the darkness seconds later. The homeowner says he didn't recognize this woman at all. Some people believe it was some kind of condition the woman was suffering. Whether it was or not, this wouldn't explain why she was ringing a stranger's doorbell in the late hours of the night. Perhaps another encounter that a homeowner was lucky to avoid.
Very strange.
This footage was captured as a homeowner was entering her house after just getting home. The woman lives in a suburban town in Illinois.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, shit.
Como pasó algo? Vamos. No sé, no. Okay.
The woman in the video was unaware of the fact that she was being watched from the distance by two people hiding in the dark, waiting for her to open her front door. As she steps into her house, the two aggressors take their chance to enter the house while the door is still open. The woman screams as she's startled by the unwelcomed visitor behind her. The first of the two teens to enter the house says don't move and don't scream.
Como pasó algo? Don't move. No sé, no.
The rest of what is said between he and the woman is inaudible. However, according to the woman in the video, he demanded her car keys. After handing him her keys, which can be seen in one of the teenager's hands, the two take off towards her car, which they then steal. There was someone else in the house with the woman who was also held at gunpoint alongside her. He also remains nameless. The woman wasn't harmed, thankfully, and one of the two teenage aggressors were found and arrested, 18-year-old Brendan McCrew. The other aggressor has still yet to be identified. This video is a prime example of why you should always be aware of your surroundings before opening your front door.
Yep. Even though we live out in a pretty secluded area, I still look around me. Because we have one corner of our porch which is off on its own, and I always am wondering, it's like someone could be hiding over there and waiting for me to open the door.
Luckily, our porch is you'd have to make noise climbing to our porch from the ground, basically.
Well, no, I'm worried that they'd be over there, they would be over there waiting for me, preemptively.
You mean around the corner of the porch?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. They'd be sitting back there, and they'd wait for someone's, headlights to appear and pull into the driveway, and then they would get up and they'd look, and then they just come around the corner and just run right. Thankfully, it's a long distance.
Yeah.
And I would have enough time to prepare myself to fight, or have enough time to run away or run inside.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some scary shit, man, to think about. Potential home invasions, especially where they're at in Chicago. I mean, Peoria. I think that's. Let's see. I think that is in Chicago. Let's see. Oh no, it's more
separate city from Chicago.
Yeah, it's a more in the middle of Illinois, instead of at the Great Lake, which is where Chicago's at. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, that was pretty terrifying, though, man.
This past July in 2021, this disturbing footage caught on a couple's Ring doorbell camera surfaced on the web. In the footage, a tattooed man with a long gray beard holding a plastic bag, apparently talking to himself, approached the front door of the couple's house. The man in the video apparently spotted the unnamed wife inside of the house through the kitchen window. He approached the front door, where he repeatedly started saying, "Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a few questions for you."
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you.
Weird.
No.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? I just have a couple questions for you.
This man is mentally
Are you
not
sure?
there. I honestly.
Are you positive?
I hope this man gets help.
For you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
The wife said she never responded to the man. She simply hid in her home and called 911. The man was standing there knocking on the glass, repeating the same 3 things over and over to nobody. Her husband, who was not at the home at the time, accessed the intercom system and asked the man who he was as he was walking away. This caused him to come back, look into the camera, and start saying some pretty nasty, disturbing things.
So, who are you? What? Yeah? Are you sure? Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about Acoleyte.
Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her. Do you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
And I'm going to knock on her door again. All right.
Okay, this man does not need to be out on the streets. Like, that is very disturbing behavior. I mean, threatening to do that and, again, saying he had a knife and everything, that's... This man's very mentally disturbed, and I hope that he does get help because, that's... Something tells me he's not... Again,
Yeah, he's giving me like weird Otis Driftwood vibes.
Sort of, yeah. For those of you who haven't seen The Devil's Rejects or House of a Thousand Corpses or Devil's 3, or was Devil's 3 or is that? It's the third
Three
film.
from Hell.
3 from Hell. Sorry, Devil's Third. That's I forget what else that's from, but yeah, I would say this guy right here does not need to be on the streets. He's probably going to hurt somebody, if not end somebody, because that's pretty disturbing, man. Not gonna lie.
Rape and kill her, and asked if she could open the door multiple times. After one more unsuccessful knock, the man walked away, talking to himself in different voices as he did. Police found and arrested the man the next day after another report of a suspicious man in the area, and he was identified as 40-year-old Christopher Sums, a fugitive from California.
Whoa.
Yep. Definitely very much is Otis Driftwood.
Yeah, I'm glad he got arrested, and I hope that damn.
This footage was captured in Bristol and shows a man approach and knock on Kathleen Frascarelli's door. That in of itself isn't so disturbing, but it's the fact that it was very late on a Sunday night, and the image she saw on her phone was of a masked person on the other side of the door. However, the fact that it was late on a Sunday night, and that the image she saw on the phone was of a masked person on the other side of the door, is enough to give someone pause.
I saw what you did
That's
there.
fucking sketch.
While playing back the video footage, Kathleen the homeowner noticed that the masked person tried opening the door at first, but thankfully it was locked. She described the mask as having this grotesque smile that never went away, and still hasn't gone away from her memory. The person knocks and then stands at the door for 15 seconds. Afterwards, the camera catches them pulling their sleeve over their hand, then wiping away their fingerprints from the doorknob they tried to open when they first walked up to the house. The fact that they wiped away their fingerprints already says that they were up to no good, if everything else about this didn't already scream that. Kathleen stated that he had something heavy in his sweatshirt pocket, which he doesn't know what it was. A neighbor who saw the person leaving said he had a bag that he was carrying with him, so God knows what was in there. By the time Kathleen made it downstairs, the person was already in a car parked across the street, which they sped off in. Footage like this is really the scariest because nobody knows how these encounters would have gone down if the doors were opened.
Wow. Yeah, so, pretty disturbing. Not gonna lie, pretty disturbing stuff. You all, like, for those of you who are unaware why he put his sleeve over his hand, he was wiping his fingerprints away. Basically, wiping...
Oh, he said that in the
Well,
video.
he did... Well, again, and for those who are, like, thinking, how could they get prints? It's like, you'd be surprised how many partial prints you could get from something like that. And maybe he's already in the system and he knows this and he's not going... And he doesn't want to get caught. I mean...
Well, or the other thing is if he does get caught and they need to prove that he was there, they can take those fingerprints off of the doorknob.
Quite easily, yeah.
As proof, so...
Anyway.
If he gets caught later on, like, and he doesn't leave fingerprints and he wasn't caught on camera, he could be like, that wasn't me. Like,
Exactly.
Potentially get away with it.
Fingerprints and DNA evidence, for me, I'm glad that they've exonerated so many people, but at the same time, I've seen it, even that, be used for ill. There have been planting of evidence, planting of DNA and planting of fingerprints. They've actually shown how easy it is to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of disturbing in its own right. But anyway, yeah, these were 5 freaky videos recorded by Ring Cameras, Volume 2 by Mr. Nightmare. If you all want to see more from Mr. Nightmare, click his name in the title of the video, as always. And until next time, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Take care, everyone. Peace.